Hello class, we're going to talk about motion graphs, particularly distance and time graphs. We will discuss what makes it a distant time graph and how you can tell the difference between other graphs. So this is what we're going to be doing today. And this is our question: how are speed and velocity related and how can they be interpreted using graphs? So there is a between relationship. If you notice one goes up, another will go up. And you can use this to determine what is actually an object doing just by looking at a graph. Okay, so this is a distance time graph. There are some things you want to look at. So look at the bottom where time is. Now this is our x-axis. Now if you look on the side where distance is, that's our y-axis. Okay. Now I have to say that when you're looking at this time, remember this point right here is 0. That means there is no time and there are no distance going up. Now, as you move away from this point down, time is increasing or getting longer. Same thing happens on the y-axis. We have 0 distance at this point, but as we go up, distance is getting longer. Now this summarizes how you can tell how it's plotted on there. So remember, x-axis is the time. The further on the right of the axis, the longer the time from start. Distance is plotted on a y-axis side of the graph. Higher up the graph, further from the start. And this is telling you a basic summary of what I just said. Remember, x-axis is time. The further to the right of the axis, the longer the time from start. Distance is plotted on the y-axis. The higher the graph, further from the start. So we notice this first graph. You just notice this line is just horizontal, a straight horizontal line. Well, if you remember, at this point, that's 0. 0 time, 0 distance. Well, as we get further from 0, we traveled a distance, but we only stopped here. But since the line continues going this way, that means time is still going this way. So when you've stopped and you're just sitting there and time is passing, you're just at rest. You're not moving. So that's what this graph is actually telling you. Now looking at this graph, you see there's this incline of a line right here. That's telling you at its constant speed. So for whatever time it is, it's going a distance. And it keeps doing that as it goes up the graph. As more distance is going up, more time is passing. So it's just a constant speed. Now, let's look at this graph. You notice this is the same line from the previous slide. But we're going to show you this dotted line in particular. Why? Why is it like that instead of being a straight line? Well, the actual angle of the line, or how steep it's actually going, tells you that you are going further distance in a short amount of time. Basically, you're going at higher speeds. You are traveling further distance in a shorter amount of time. So you are still going at a straight line, and it's still a constant speed, but you're just going faster. Same thing applies if the line was more, change my ink, down here. you're still increasing, but you're not as going as far as time is passing by. But if you have any of these lines, they're still straight and constant. You're still going a distance, but you may take some more time to do it. Now let's look at this one. As you can see, this has a nice little curve. At the beginning, it kind of looks like the other graph. But then you notice that there's this curve right here. And then it goes right up. Well, actually, you're just increasing speed. You're basically stepping on the gas and going a faster speed. In this case, it is accelerating, increasing speed. So in summary, a distance time graph tells you how far an object has moved with time. The steeper the graph, the faster the motion. Horizontal line means the object is not changing position or is at rest. A downward slope line means the object is returning to start. And what we mean by that, if you took that graph, instead of seeing something like this, meaning that it's increasing speed, you'll see something like this. So it's just going down. You're starting at a distance. As time passes, you're getting at a smaller and smaller distance.